What if every word you hear carries a different meaning beneath the surface? How often do we take someone's words at face value, only to find ourselves blindsided by reality? In the world of women and relationships, trust me, language is rarely as simple as it sounds. You can ignore this fact, but believe me, every warrior who has walked the path of self-mastery knows. Misreading the signals will cost you more than you imagine. The truth is, ancient Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius faced the same timeless challenge, deciphering not just the words of others, but their true intentions, hidden behind polite smiles and shifting emotions. They learned to separate appearance from reality, illusion from substance. This is not about suspicion or paranoia. It is about clarity. It is about discipline, about refusing to be a slave to sweet words when action and truth are what matter most. Warrior, if you ever felt confusion in the aftermath of a woman's words, if you've wondered why what's said so rarely matches what unfolds, this video will cut through the fog. Stay to the end. There's a translation guide waiting that every high-value man needs, but few ever receive. The stakes are your time, your energy, your peace. And that is a price only the undisciplined are willing to pay. 1. I'm not ready for anything serious. Have you ever wondered why, when a woman says, "I'm not ready for anything serious," the words linger in the air, yet something deeper resonates beneath the surface? Believe me, the message is rarely about timing alone. It is a shield, one that protects not only her from discomfort, but also you from the sting of direct rejection. This is not a fault to resent. It is a reflection of how nature has shaped us to avoid unnecessary conflict and preserve harmony, even when honesty may burn. Warriors throughout history, from the battlefield to the quiet chambers of philosophy, understood that people often guard the truth to protect themselves and others. The Roman philosopher Epictetus endured slavery and hardship, learning never to accept words at face value, but to observe actions, which speak far louder than gentle excuses. "I'm not ready" is less about a lack of readiness, and more about a lack of genuine desire for a deeper bond at this moment. With you. Harsh? Yes. But trust me, understanding this spares you wasted energy and emotional confusion. Human nature compels us to soften blows and maintain options. Too many ignore the deeper instinct at play and remain trapped in hope instead of forging ahead on their path. Warrior, let the reality set you free. Her words are a reflection of her truth, not yours. Honor her honesty, but don't become ensnared by it. Your worth is not dependent on readiness. It is forged in your resolve to see reality and move forward, undaunted. 2. I need space to figure things out. How often have you heard, "I need space to figure things out," and felt the uncertainty gnaw at your core? Why do such words feel so final, even when cloaked in ambiguity? Trust me, behind this phrase lies a fundamental reality. When someone truly values your presence, space is not used as a refuge, but as a tool to grow together. The moment she asks for distance, a shift has occurred, not just in her life, but in her perception of you. Human nature is driven by self-preservation and clarity-seeking. When a woman seeks space, it is seldom because she's weighing options between you and solitude. More often, she is preparing to loosen the connection without inflicting open wounds. The echoes of this instinct are as old as humanity itself. People retreat when faced with decisions that challenge their comfort. In ancient times, warriors would withdraw from the front lines not out of weakness, but to reevaluate, rearm, and sometimes to choose a different battle altogether. Do not be deceived by the promise that space will heal or reset what has already fractured. Believe me, when desire and respect are truly present, both thrive in closeness, not in distance. Your self-respect must come first. The Stoic philosophers endured loss and exile, understanding that freedom is found in letting go of what you cannot control. Take these words for what they are: a signal to reclaim your time, energy, and dignity. A warrior never waits in limbo. He advances, shaped by clarity and unshaken by indecision. 3. You deserve someone better. Have you noticed the sting that comes when you hear, "you deserve someone better," and yet something deeper unsettles you beyond the surface meaning? Ask yourself, since when has self-sacrifice been a badge of honor in matters of genuine attraction? Believe me, these words rarely represent a selfless concern for your well-being. Instead, they are a gentle escape route, a way to shield both of you from the discomfort of the unspoken truth. Across centuries, men have misinterpreted this phrase as flattery or a sign of noble intention. But warriors who understand the essence of the human condition recognize it as the language of disengagement. When a woman utters, "You deserve better," it is an indirect admission that her attraction, her passion, or her emotional investment has waned. It is not about your qualities or worth. It is about her inability or unwillingness to meet you at your level. History is filled with examples, emperors, generals, and thinkers who faced rejection not because of their shortcomings, but because human desires are ever shifting and loyalty is not always rational. Trust me, clinging to these words will only drain your spirit and dull your edge. Accept them with gratitude, not resentment. By doing so, you spare yourself from illusion and preserve the strength that defines you as a warrior. True self-mastery means understanding that what is meant for you will never require confusion or consolation. Move forward with dignity, never beg to be chosen. The high-value path is paved with acceptance of harsh truths, not hollow comforts. 4. I'm not like other girls. Why is it that when you hear, "I'm not like other girls," something within you both sparks curiosity and raises a quiet warning? Believe me, this declaration is more than a bid for your attention. It is an attempt to stand apart in a world where distinction is valued but often misunderstood. History teaches us that people crave to be seen as unique, as the exception rather than the rule. Yet the truth, forged in the fires of countless human interactions, is that true uniqueness is never announced. It is revealed over time through consistent action and unwavering character. When a woman insists on her difference, recognize this for what it often is: an unspoken awareness of competition, a desire to convince you, perhaps herself, that she does not fit the patterns you may have grown wary of. It is a shield against judgment, a preemptive defense designed to lower your guard. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca endured betrayal and false flattery, never swayed by words alone, and learned to look for substance behind the mask of novelty. The harsh reality is that most who claim to be unlike others do so because they fear being seen as ordinary. Trust me, this is not an attack. It is a natural outcome of our instincts to survive and succeed in a social world. For the warrior, the test is never in what is claimed, but in what is proven. Stand firm, observe quietly, and let actions paint the true portrait. Only then will you discern rare substance from common bravado, and only then can you honor the rare with your respect, while never losing yourself to empty declarations. 5. He's just a friend. Have you ever paused to ask why the phrase, "he's just a friend," often carries with it an undertone that feels at odds with the comfort it's meant to provide? Trust me, there is a reason these words rarely silence a warrior's instincts. Throughout history, the boundaries between friendship and attraction have never been as clear-cut as people would have you believe. Deep down, human beings are shaped by social instincts that both unite and divide, and the notion of just friendship is not immune to these forces. When a woman reassures you that another man is just a friend, understand that these words are chosen to ease your mind, sometimes with complete sincerity, and other times to preserve peace while avoiding difficult truths. The reality is that emotional connections, however innocent they may appear, can shift over time. Even the wisest men in ancient courts and armies learned that alliances, relationships, and affections are fluid, always shaped by circumstance and desire. It is not your place to interrogate or harbor suspicion, but to remain alert and grounded. Warriors lose themselves not by trusting, but by ignoring the patterns before them. The Stoic path teaches us to accept the things we cannot control, yet never to blind ourselves to the evidence that life provides. Believe me, your own standards and boundaries are what define you, not what others declare. If your instincts are unsettled, respect them and have the courage to address what disturbs your peace. Ultimately, the strength to walk away from confusion is more powerful than the need to extract promises from anyone. Indix, I don't usually do this. Have you noticed how, when the words "I don't usually do this" surface, they often arrive at moments charged with vulnerability or risk? Trust me, this phrase is less a window into her history and more a carefully crafted shield for her reputation. It is designed to shape your perception, to cast her actions as rare exceptions rather than expressions of true desire or choice. The instinct behind this is deeply rooted. Across centuries and cultures, reputation has held powerful sway over survival, status, and self-worth. In reality, "I don't usually do this" is a line of self-preservation, rehearsed to preserve a sense of innocence in your eyes, and perhaps even in her own. Ancient warriors, navigating both battlefield and court, understood that honor and shame are currencies. What is confessed, what is concealed, shapes outcomes more than mere fact. This phrase is rarely the honest disclosure it pretends to be. It is a gentle plea not to be judged, to avoid being placed in the same category as those who act carelessly. Believe me, most men accept these words at face value, driven by a longing to believe in singularity and exception. But the warrior mindset is immune to illusions. You must see past rehearsed defenses and acknowledge that human behavior is often guided more by circumstance and opportunity than by stated principle. Respond not with cynicism, but with clarity. Value the present moment for what it is, and never let borrowed innocence cloud your judgment or lead you into self-deception. True power lies in observing without attachment, and in knowing that reputation is a mask, one you are never obligated to remove. Warrior, the path to true strength is carved not by comfort, but by seeing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. Every phrase you've heard today, whether soothing or ambiguous, carries with it the weight of instinct, self-preservation, and social strategy. Believe me, most men stumble not from a lack of courage, but from a refusal to accept brutal reality. Let this guide be your armor. When you see through words to the deeper motives behind them, you become immune to confusion and regret. You walk forward with eyes wide open, heart steady, and purpose unshaken. Now let this be your challenge. Drop a "challenge accepted" in the comments if you choose to embrace this clarity. For more unfiltered truths and ancient wisdom to sharpen your journey, remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Stand tall, move with discipline, and trust your perception above all. In the end, words may shift, but a warrior's discernment is timeless. The world will always present illusions. Your task is to never lose yourself within them.